Hello and welcome to today's Office Hours presentation. This is your host, Paul Hoyt. Our Office Hours presentation is a relaxed, informal mentoring program that we hold every Monday at noon Pacific time. All these recordings, slides, and exercises are archived in the members area of our website. And for now, at least, all of the recordings are available on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/Paul Hoyt. We have been announcing for the last several weeks that I think it's after the first of the year that we're going to put all of this stuff behind the covers, and that means most of the YouTube videos will be set to a private so that you need to be a member of the tribe in order to view past videos. We now have a collection of 100 of them, 100 different 30-minute presentations, and you'll get some more information on how you can access those after the first of the year here in just the next couple of weeks. The reasons we do these office hours presentations is that we know that being a successful small business owner can be a great experience, but we also know that it's tough. And we know that you need support in order to be successful. So we want you to get to know us, because when you do, you'll know first and most importantly that we really do care about you. We want you to be successful in every area of life, whatever that means to you. We want you to find the greatness, the happiness, the divinity that's within yourself, and then remember it, embrace it, and live it every single day as we try to do. Our passion is to help entrepreneurs and small business owners get clear, stay focused, and grow faster. A little bit about our company. Our company was formed in 2001. We've worked with hundreds of CEOs and entrepreneurs and trained thousands more over the last 15 years in business. And we work with companies from startups to $30 million in annual revenues. Personally, I've had 50 years of business experience and 50 years of working on myself, a personal development experience as well. I'm the founder of the Awaken CEO System and a business growth and personal performance specialist, which also means I'm a consultant and a coach. As a consultant, we work with you to help your business grow stronger, and as a coach, we work with you to help you go stronger individually, with this very specific expertise in startups and raising capital. And we focus on those three things: on getting clear, staying focused, and on growing faster. With regards to getting clear, it's because there's great power when you're clear. And there's actually magic in clarity. I like that phrase, the magic of clarity. And clarity to me comes in three different forms. Number one is knowing your what. Number two is knowing your why, and number three is knowing your how. Let's talk about each one of those individually, because there's tremendous value in knowing your what. The value of a clear vision means that you have defined your destination. You know exactly where you are going to go, which allows you to focus your energy, and it really shortens the journey by aligning the team and preventing that thrashing about and all that wasted motion that comes from yourself and your team whenever you're not very clear on what it is that you want to accomplish. It minimizes the shiny object syndrome. That means being distracted whenever somebody dangles something in front of you that's a shiny object, because you are very clearly focused on your goal. You know exactly what your destination is. You know exactly what you want to accomplish, and you've got that clear vision, and that really provides significant value to you. Another way that being clear provides value is being very clear on your why. Why are you doing that? Because that can really provide a motivation and inspiration and unleash the passion that you have. That increases the energy with which you work, and that increases productivity. And that always helps you overcome obstacles that you'll find along the way and inspires the entire team. So when you are very clear on your why, it not only helps you build up your energy and unleash your passion, but other people will jump on too, because they love, and we all love, to be around people who are passionate and who are very clear on why they are doing what it is that they are doing. So there's tremendous value in being very clear about your why as well. The last of the three is really understanding how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be, and that is being very clear on the how. That defines that straight line, that step-by-step path to reach your goal. That also defines the resources required along the way so you can be properly fueled for the journey, and that helps align the team, and that increases efficiency and effectiveness. So by the way, we've talked about 3 levels of performance here: productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness. Productivity is the amount of work that you get accomplished in a particular given period of time. Efficiency is the rate with which you consume your resources relative to the amount of work that you're producing. And effectiveness means how much the work that you are presenting or accomplishing actually helps you achieve your goals. So being very clear on your what, being very clear on your why, being very clear on your how just simply means that you are going to be able to work faster and achieve more if you stay focused. To stay focused, we strongly recommend that you review your goals at least weekly, that you communicate exactly what you want to accomplish and the progress along that goal to your team to make sure that they are in alignment and stay in alignment. You communicate status and progress to keep up the energy as well, that you courageously address any obstacles and blocks that you find along the way so that it helps you be more productive, efficient, and effective so that you can reach your goal of growing faster. Growing faster to me in business means making more money, means conserving your available resources, capturing additional market shares, and becoming attractive to investors and partners. I've run a lot of spreadsheets on the value of achieving a goal, especially a revenue goal, in say 3 months rather than 6 months, or in 9 months rather than 12 months, and it is absolutely enormous. It can mean a few $100s to you over a period of few weeks, but many thousands of dollars over a period of months, and many millions of dollars to you over the lifetime of your business. So I strongly encourage you as a CEO and an entrepreneur is to be focused on growing faster because of the incredible benefits that that brings to you. And that means that you need to be very clear, and that means that you need to be stay focused in order to do that. Today we're going to talk about Business Owner Core Competencies to help you figure out what your gaps are and some basic competencies that you may have and those which may be lacking in yourself and other members of your team. Because people don't talk about this very much. We talk about specific things about business, but I'm going to talk about something that's an even higher level, and that's the Business Owner Core Competencies. We always try to relate the subject matter of the day to one of the more key performance areas of success, and this one's all about leadership. It's about your responsibility to yourself and to your organization to make sure that people are prepared to do the job that's in front of them. We also relate the subject matter of the day to our Awakened CEO system, which is the integration of various areas of growth and levels of performance. And today, we're going to talk about the mindset of business growth, personal growth, and professional growth. And we're going to talk about methods that you can use for professional growth, because improving your core competencies is really about professional growth. The problem that we see with a lot of business owners is that most people start a business with some core competency issues, and as a result they're less productive, as a result they're less focused, as a result they don't grow nearly as fast as they could, and their company overhead is much greater because they themselves are not able to do some things. And part of being very clear about the how is knowing your required competencies. So a lot of times in business, we find people who have some shortcomings in some of those basic core competencies we'll talk about in just a minute, and it costs them money. It slows them down because they're not really clear on what is slowing them down. And it's really not easy to be very clear on the how. One of the reasons it's not easy is because the required core competencies for your business really vary based upon the type of business that you have, the phase of business that you are in, and the overall complexity of your business. In other words, the core competencies required of a business owner who has a very complex business are much different than the core competencies required of a business owner who has a very simple business. In my program called Business Survival Boot Camp, I talk specifically about business complexity profiles and how I've seen so many businesses over the years that I really do understand that some businesses are more complex than other businesses. For example, it is much more difficult to bring a new simple product, especially a consumer product, to the market than it is, say, to have a hot dog stand or just selling roses by the street corner. Understanding the complexity profile of your business helps you define not only your functional core competencies in each one of the areas of the business, but also your personal core competencies that we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. And as we talk about these core competencies, I strongly encourage you to have a growth mindset because, hey, we all have room for growth. You can be successful in business even if you have some experience in competency issues. So I really want you to look for one or two things that you can focus on over the next 90 days or so. And as we go through here, don't just look for your gaps, also look for your strengths and pat yourself on the back. Give yourself some kudos when you find one of the competencies that you already have for your business. And that's what a growth mindset says. It says that we've come a long way, we've grown a tremendous amount, we love to grow, but we're eager to grow even more. And that's what our conversation today is about. We're going to talk about core competencies in three different levels: in communications, in technology, and in emotional intelligence. First, on communications. And again, we're going to split this into three categories about writing, speaking, and typing skills. I've seen some business owners who just flat couldn't put multiple words together to form sentences and couldn't take sentences and put them together to form paragraphs. So one of the specific core competencies you have is general message composition. And by the way, that's one of the things that our school systems do reasonably well, is teach people how to write. You need to ask yourself, does my writing look like everybody else's writing? Am I able to write at a professional level, or is there something lacking in the choice of words that I use, or in the ways that I string words together to form sentences and sentences together to form paragraphs? And it really transcends all different areas of written communication, from your emails to the articles and blogs that are important for you to be able to write, in terms of presentations like the presentation we're doing today, and in marketing messages. So whatever you do, however you reach out and communicate with the written word, it's an important core competency in your business for you to be able to do that very well. And to do that very well, you need to be clear, concise, and powerful and quick. Borrowing that language from my friend Lisa Nichols, you need to be able to do that. So working on your writing skills is essential to developing the core competency of written communication. I know early in my career, I guess I was still in my 20s, when I decided that I wanted to write as well as the people who wrote the articles in the various trade magazines that I was reading. So whenever I decided to write a memo to anybody, I tried to compare that to the things that I was reading, knowing that if I could write as well as they could write, then I would have excellence in my writing skills. And I feel blessed over the years to have developed excellent writing skills. And I'm always a little chagrined when I find a business owner that can't seem to put multiple words together, and actually communicate them well to the public out there. Another core competency when it comes to communication is being able to speak well in sales-related conversations, for networking events, for small group events, for large group events, and for interviews and on camera. Today, videos are the way that we communicate more and more with other people. It's essential for you to develop your on-camera skills and your interview skills in order to be heard and get the message out. And that's a slightly different competency than being able to write well, but it's one that you need to practice. And of course, with practice, you can improve your writing skills and your speaking skills. And here's one that people don't talk about very much, and that's your typing skills. And that's basic keyboarding skills and on texting skills today. Texting, of course, is brand new. There are kids out there that it seems like they can text 30 words a minute with their thumbs. I can't do that, but I'm getting better and better at that. For basic keyboarding skills, you need to be able to put your fingers on a keyboard and type at 10, 20, 30 words per minute minimum. Gosh, my wife types about 120 words a minute, and so does my son. That's just amazing. I'm up to about 35 or 40 words a minute now when it comes to typing. But it's tremendous to be able to communicate faster and better through great typing skills. And by the way, I feel that typing skills and writing skills go hand in hand. The better typist you are, the better keyboardist you are, the easier it is for you to become a good writer, because it doesn't take as much mental effort for you to do that. You're not struggling with getting the words out of your head and onto the paper or onto the digital platform that you have. So one of the ways to become a better writer is to become better in your keyboarding skills. And if you find that you're still looking at the keyboard and hunting and pecking with your fingers whenever you are typing something, then I strongly encourage you to find a program or to develop some sort of a discipline around increasing your typing skills. So that's the first of the three basic areas that we're going to talk about for core competencies, is your ability to communicate effectively with your team and with the outside world in your writing skills for emails, articles, blogs, presentations, books, your speaking skills, whether you're speaking one-on-one with somebody or doing a presentation or speaking in front of an audience of thousands of people, and your typing skills, which can really facilitate great writing skills. The second area of core competencies is on technology. And technology, we're going to break into two categories. We're going to talk about software technology and hardware technology. In today's marketplace, in today's office environment for software, you need to be proficient in Word and Excel and PowerPoint. I mean, to me, that's just a core competency of being a business owner, is you have to be able to communicate, and you have to be able to write well, and you have to be able to create spreadsheets, you have to be able to create documents that look presentable to the outside world. As we talked about earlier in our opening, the challenge of business owners who are not proficient in these three products is that it costs them a lot of extra time. It slows them down. It costs them money if they have to send everything out for somebody else to craft it in terms of a Word document, or they have to hire somebody else to do a spreadsheet, or they have to hire somebody else to do even the basic kinds of presentations. And by the way, I'm not talking about those professional things. Whenever you're writing an article, for example, or writing a book, for example, it does make sense for you to have an editor on your team and a proofreader on your team who can help take that high-value document and turn it into a polished document. Whenever you're working with financial projections or doing complex data analysis, it does make sense for you to have somebody on your team who can really assist with that level of Excel and spreadsheet skills. And when you're creating really high-value presentations, it helps to have somebody on your team who can create high-value and high-quality PowerPoint presentations. Now, what I'm talking about here is the very basic core competency. You need to be able to edit documents. You need to be able to pull together some numbers on a spreadsheet, and you need to be able to create the basic presentations. Otherwise, you're going to be spending tens or hundreds or thousands of dollars unnecessarily by having to hire somebody to do the basic stuff. It's also really, really helpful for you to understand basic WordPress skills and HTML skills. In other words, the ability to go in and change your website or manipulate the website in some way. It's also really helpful for you to have QuickBooks skills. And there are other things out there. And by the way, the reason I mentioned these 5 products and then with the big others is because of tremendous market share that they enjoy. In each one of these cases, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, WordPress, and QuickBooks, they enjoy over an 80% market share. That means that everybody is using them. Not quite everybody, but almost everybody is using them. And if you can use them too, you're going to be able to interact with the vast majority of your business contacts in a much more efficient and effective way. And that's why I strongly encourage you to develop the core competencies in these 5 different areas, and in your particular industry, any other sort of technology that is particular to your industry that you may need to develop a competency in as well. So for example, if you're an engineer, it may be Autodesk or AutoCAD kinds of stuff, or some of the 3D modeling tools that are available out there. If you're in medical office management, it may be some specific software packages that have a very large market share in your particular industry. We're talking about here in the context of our conversation, very core competencies that seem to transcend other industries. There's another aspect of software technology which has just come up in the last 7 or 8 years that we also need to be competent in, and that's social media. And that means Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and other ones that we need to be competent in, because that is the way the world communicates today. That is the way that marketing is done today. That is the way that we create our database lists and that we expand our distribution, is through competencies in social media. So, and I find, by the way, especially for myself, as a seasoned executive, that developing social media competency has been a lot more difficult than developing competency on Word and Excel and PowerPoint. Heck, I started with those things in the late 80s, like 30 years ago almost, that I began to develop competency in those products. But social media competency on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter is something that takes, it takes some real focus and attention if you're not one of those millennials who grew up with it in the same way that I grew up with Word and Excel, etc. The other aspects of technology that you need to be proficient in is hardware technology, and that includes laptops and desktops, internal phone systems, and mobile technology. The world is going more and more towards mobile technology. It was only just a few years ago that we started talking about the necessity of people being able to adequately interact with your company's website using mobile technology. Then HTML5 came along, and now it's almost a given that a very large percentage of the people who interact with you online are going to be doing it in the context of their smartphone or their tablet. And you need to make sure that you understand and create your systems for people who only use that mobile technology today. So now we've talked about communication and we've talked about technology core competencies. I want to move into the third area, which is on emotional intelligence. One of my very favorite office hours presentations that I did was office hours 91 on emotional intelligence. I've been studying emotional intelligence for a long time. I've taken college courses in emotional intelligence. I've read lots of books in emotional intelligence, because to me, emotional intelligence is the science of personal growth. This is the 4-quadrant system of emotional intelligence, which has kind of become the de facto standard in the industry. And we talk about personal competencies in terms of self-awareness and self-management, and social competencies in terms of social awareness and relationship management. And as it turns out, being competent in emotional intelligence is a huge factor in your company's profitability and your ability to grow in several different areas. First, in the area of self-management, you got to have self-control. You can't be flying off the handle and yelling at people and screaming at people. You have to have the ability to focus so that you can get the job done and you can shut out all of those outside distractions. You need to have the ability to manage your time and to manage your schedule. You need to have the ability to manage to a budget. You need to have the ability to show up on time to appointments. Heck, you need to have the ability just to show up at all every single day with self-motivation. That's all about self-management. So ask yourself, is there one of these things that you could improve upon? Could you improve on your self-control? Could you improve on the timeliness with which you show up to appointments and meetings, or are you always running behind? How are you at managing your schedule so that you reserve time to getting the most important things done every single day? That's a real important core competency in business, and a real important aspect of emotional intelligence is self-management. Self-management gives you the ability to manage challenges that come up. It allows you to roll with the punches, allows you to tap into your resourcefulness and manage your stress better, allows you to just suck it up and be courageous, to let go of all that stress and fear that you have in your life and be courageous. And it also allows you to learn the lessons. So ideally, whenever a real challenge comes up to you, you would learn some sort of a lesson, gain some sort of a wisdom that allows you to completely avoid that challenge in the future, or at least more effectively deal with it when it does come up. Some of those lessons we have are about the importance of having critical conversations and how to have those critical conversations. A stitch in time saves nine is another great lesson, which means that if you address a problem early, it's not likely to be a very big problem, and so on. You know, business presents us, it seems like, an infinite opportunity to gain wisdom in our life that not only pays advantages to us in business, but also in other areas of our life too. One of the most important aspects of emotional intelligence is relationship management. It all starts with caring about the long-term relationship, about seeing things not just in terms of transactions, but in terms of long-term relationship. It's important for you to maintain your own emotional control, develop your listening skills, focus, as I said, in the long-term aspects of the relationship, and being flexible and being willing and able to negotiate on things, and honoring your agreements and setting boundaries. And relationship management is about so many, many, many different things. When you're able to have really good relationship management skills, it enables you to have great team management skills. Team management in terms of recruiting, hiring, and managing your employees, and hiring and manage contractors, managing meetings that you have, and doing operations management and project management. All of those things are comprised with your core competencies in emotional intelligence. So we've talked about your core competencies, those skill sets, that experience level, that mindset that transcends every area of your business and every industry in which you might work, that we've broken into communication skills, your writing, your speaking, and your technology skills, and your emotional intelligence skills as well. So be thinking about those. And here's the bottom line. The bottom line is many, many people have core competency issues. I feel like, you know, after 50 years in business and after 50 years of working on myself, I've still got some basic core competency issues that I'm working on. Everyone can improve. And when you are clear about how, you can be clear about the improvements that will bring you the most value. Remember when we talked about the power of how and the magic of how and the power of clarity, we talked about understanding how exactly you're going to get from point A to point B and the resources required along the way. When you're clear on your roadmap to success, then you can be clear on which one of the competencies in your life, personally and in the area of other people with your business, are going to make you or bring you the most value whenever you address them. We also talked about the Awakened CEO system, about how understanding your core competencies is very important in terms of the mindset that you bring to your business every single day and in terms of your methods. So let's talk about those for just a second. From a mindset perspective, I want you to believe that business growth requires professional growth and personal growth. When you believe that, when you understand in your soul that in order to grow my business, I have to grow myself, and I have to grow myself on two different levels, the area of professional growth and on the area of personal growth, it really enables you to grow so much faster. It enables you to have a humble, confident approach towards your own personal development and your own professional development in order to grow your business. And it really is helpful. I want you to believe that you can develop the basic competencies that you need in order to be successful. And I want you to believe that working on yourself is one of the most important things that you can do in business and in life. Having that humble growth mindset is incredibly important to your future success. The methods by which I want you to entertain that is, first of all, discover your gaps, pick a few things to work on, get support as you need them from your counselors, therapists, coaches, consultants in closing those gaps, and work with other people on your team to help them identify and close their gaps too. And as you do that, one of the most important things that you can do is to reward yourself and the other members of your team along the way. Our next office hours is going to be on December the 12th. That's a week from today. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about today. I want you to let me know what topics that you would like for us to address by going to paulssurvey.com. And I'm really excited to announce the next Awakened Conversation that we're doing on December the 14th on incredibly empowering beliefs. I've been focusing on my core beliefs for the last, 9 months, maybe even almost 12 months. And I've come up with a list of them that's incredibly empowering to me, and I want to share those with you with the hopes that they will be empowering to you as well. So watch your emails for announcement. I do want to make a special offer, a repeat of the special offer that we made last week, and that is our Gold Clarity Package, where we have 5 90-minute planning sessions that help you get clear by defining your what, defining your why, and defining your how. And with the Gold Clarity Package, it starts out with the Business Clarity Questionnaire as the first of our 5 90-minute planning sessions. Then we go into a phased growth strategy to help you determine your long-term strategy. We do a Business Foundation Profile, which provides a gap analysis, a positional gap analysis, and a functional gap analysis, and a resource gap analysis. Then we move into a 90-day growth plan so you can get very clear on exactly how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be, and a first step financial plan so you're clear on what money resources are necessary in order for you to execute your growth strategy. That Gold Clarity Package is typically $1,750 in price, but we're offering it at a special discounted rate of $1,497 for the next couple of weeks or so. That package comes with a money-back guarantee, a 100% money-back guarantee. If we get through that first session with the Business Clarity Questionnaire and you find that you just don't want to go further with it, then just let us know. We'll give you all of your money back, no questions asked. And it also comes, by the way, with a bonus. For those of you who act very quickly, for the next 5 signups, you get a free coaching session. And that is one of our example modeling coaching sessions to help you stay focused and keep on track in your business. And the value of that is $250 because that's how much we charge for each one of our coaching sessions. So we strongly encourage you to get clear, stay focused, and grow faster with our Gold Clarity Package. That's 5 90-minute planning sessions, 1 bonus follow-up coaching session, tools that you can use in your business forever because you get the Word documents and the Excel spreadsheets, which you can manage yourself and update yourself because, hey, you've developed the core competencies in those products. And it comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. That's normally, with the bonus session, a $2,000 value, and it's yours for only $1,497 for the next few days or so. So we strongly encourage you to sign up today to get prepared for 2017. And to give me an order, you can call me at 415-997-8001. If you have any questions about this whatsoever, I strongly encourage you to call Stephanie May at 916-960-6983. I'm going to leave both of those numbers up on the screen here for a little bit as we jump into our Q&A portion of today's call. And you're welcome to ask a question about, first of all, the subject matter of the day and anything about core competencies, anything about the special offer that we have, and then anything that you want to talk about. We got some time. Stephanie, do we have any questions come through from our online folks or anybody from email?
Yeah, we do. Couple things. I just want to tell you a little story. You were talking about typewriting.
Yeah.
Typing, and how fast. I don't know if I ever told you my mom back in the day used to type on the very old-fashioned original typewriters, right?
Yeah, like an Underwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she could type 94 words a minute on that dang thing.
Wow.
She was so fast. Back in the day when they had the department stores with the windows where they had all the displays, they would stick her in the display window and let her do her work there so that people could watch her. She was so fast.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've always been jealous of her. Yeah, I mean, the fastest that I've been tested at was 75 or 80, I think, and that's been on a computer. Nowhere near the skill that she did on that on that dang thing. Anyway, thanks for letting me share. Let's see. First question, how can I learn to type better?
That's a good question. How can you learn to type better? I know that there are typing software systems out there that you can buy, or you can, and I'm sure that you can find something free online that allows you to practice typing. But the key is practice. It's about setting aside, focus and time every single day in order to learn to type. I told you that I'm up to about 35 or 40 words per minute. It took me, gosh, it may have taken me 15 years to be able to reach that level of competency. Now, I have a little bit of a disadvantage over many of you who are hopefully almost everyone, who's listening to the call or is watching the recording in some way. And I know that this camera doesn't go out, but you see, I've only got like 9 fingers. I lost a finger when I was 8 years old, a long, long, long time ago. And so for me, learning how to type, with the challenges that I have, actual physical challenges in moving my fingers, and having a little bit of a disadvantage, took me a little bit of extra time. So if I can do it, you can do it too. If you've got 10 fingers, you can learn to type quicker than I learned to type. And it's just a matter of getting a great software program and practicing day after day after day after day. Just practicing not looking at the keyboard when you are typing, looking up, looking at the document that you're trying to type or something, but you're not looking at the keyboard itself. That's the first step, is learning how to put your fingers on the keyboard and practicing doing the alphabet, practicing doing, the quick brown, what was it, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, things like that to really help you learn at a subconscious level the positioning of the keys on the keyboard. And that's one of the keys, by the way. Any one of these core competencies is really about learning at a subconscious level. And a subconscious level just requires repetition. So emotion, passion, and repetition is the key to driving our behaviors and our competencies into our subconscious mind. And you can do that with typing as you can anything else in life. Hopefully that was helpful. Stephanie, comment or next question?
Just a quick comment. When I was learning to type and I was learning shorthand, I had a nun who I've had many nightmares about as our teacher, and she gave us a little hint. I used to sit and watch the news with my dad, and I would just move my fingers to the words that the guy was saying on the screen. Of course, then it was just guys, but I would listen to the newscaster and just, use my fingers to type the words, and that really helped me immensely in making, what's the word, automate. It was just so automatic for me then what fingers to use. And I increased my speed a double once I started doing that.
Well said.
Let's see.
And I see a comment here in the window from Nicholas, which I really like, and that says use Dragon software, Dragon Dictate, or some other voice recognition software, because it is the wave of the future. And that is true. So texting skills, on smartphones, we don't have to text that much because smartphones are getting extremely intelligent, very, very capable of understanding our language, our actual voice, the audio voice, and translating that into text. They do a really good job. However, I don't think that they do a good job on emails, and the quality that they come up with, just isn't as good as it could be for articles and blogs and more professional writing. And what I find is that, my writing skills are much more, let's say, prolific and high quality than are my speaking skills. With speaking skills, when it's kind of especially extemporaneous and off the top of my head, is not nearly as eloquent as the things that I type. So what I have learned, by the way, Nick, and for others who are listening to the call, is that once my typing skills got up past 25 or 30 words per minute, it took far less time for me to type it out than it did for me to speak it out at first, because I was correcting as I went along, and the eloquence of it was much better when I originated it using my fingers as opposed to originating the message using my voice. It may change in the future with great practice. I may get a lot more eloquent about that. I know that I don't text very much anymore because of the ability of Siri, in my case on the iPhone, and other, other named agents on other smartphone technology that are able to interpret our voices and turn them into sentences. It's also, by the way, there are some things that some places that we just can't speak the way that we'd like to speak all the time because of the background noise, because of other stuff that's going on. So we do have to be able to type in addition to being able to use some great tools like Drag and Dictate and, the smartphone voice attendants, so to speak, that can help us put our thoughts into the written form. So thank you for that great comment. I appreciate that. Stephanie.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, next question.
Why don't they focus on teaching core competencies in school?
I think in one way I know that they do. So I remember my 8th grade English teacher, and I remember my 10th grade English teacher, and I remember my 12th grade English teacher, and I remember in college needing to write a lot of essays and term papers and things like that. So when it comes to written communication, I think our school systems actually do a pretty darn good job of helping people develop basic core competencies when it comes to putting words together to form sentences and sentences together to form paragraphs and paragraphs together to form meaningful articles or even books. So I think that they do a pretty good job in that regards. I know when I was in high school, good Lord, that was almost before the Underwood typewriter with your mom. When I was back there, none of the guys took keyboarding class. That was all the girls that did that because they were training to be a secretary. We guys never thought that we'd never have to put our fingers on keyboards. We'd just be, a manager or something, and we wouldn't have to do that at all. And it was many years after college that I actually began to start doing basic keyboarding, and that was because I was a computer programmer, and we got the opportunity to work with terminals and key punch machines and data entry machines, and we started developing some basic competencies in that way. I don't think that keyboarding is a required course in a lot of school systems today, although I do think that in many like challenge school systems and gifted pull-out programs, they are teaching people basic keyboarding skills, kids basic keyboarding skills, even in elementary school. It's been a long time since my kids were in elementary school, so I'm not sure exactly what they do there. But I'm pretty sure they don't teach you competency when it comes to social media, and I'm pretty sure they don't teach you basic competencies when it comes to Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. I think that's kind of up to yourself to realize what the school systems are teaching my kids and what they're teaching, what I learned in school myself, and close those gaps. I do think that since these core competencies apply to working in a very large company as well as working for yourself, that there is some more hope from the school systems, because generally our education systems don't prepare people to be entrepreneurs. They prepare you to be working for somebody else. And I think the core competencies that we talked about today, transcend whether you're working for somebody else or whether you're working for yourself. It's just the need to have those core competencies is so much more when you have your own business and there's nobody else around to delegate to. You're the one who has to be able to write the article. You're the one that has to be able to give the speech. You're the one that has to be able to do the sales conversation. You're the one that has to have your core competency across all of those areas we talked about today. Next question or comment.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Where do I go to improve my public speaking, and how do I help my team get better at the public speaking also?
I think that I'm going to address the second part of that first, and that is how do we help our team? And I think number one is you give them opportunities. Opportunities can be as simple of in a staff meeting asking them to report on the status and the progress, giving them the floor for a few minutes, calling on them when they're in a meeting of some kind, and giving them the opportunity to speak in public. Giving them the opportunity to make a presentation, to stand up in front of the crowd and make a presentation can really help them. And beyond that, just giving them the opportunities, because you can, then the same way that you help them is the same way you help yourself, which is by practice. There's a wonderful organization called Toastmasters that has chapters like everywhere that you can join for very little money, if any. I'm not sure what the fees and dues are, that give you the opportunity to practice speaking in public in a very warm and nurturing environment most of the time. So there are organizations. I know we belonged to a optimists club in high school. Was it high school? I think it was in high school. They had a junior optimist club that I was a member of that allowed me to begin my speaking skills. I took speech class and drama class in high school that helped me develop my speaking skills. And I just got back from a 4-day workshop called World Greatest Speakers Training with Brendan Burchard, which was magnificent, that talked about the structure and the content of various types of presentations and speeches. And in that particular one, they didn't give us really an opportunity to speak very much ourselves, a little bit every now and then. But they talked to us about, the ability to dance and sing while you're on stage, to fluctuate with your pace and your volume and your pitch, and all kinds of different techniques that you can use when it comes to speaking. So there are great courses out there. I know there are other folks who have speaker training classes like the one that I went to. I haven't been to them. I've only been to Brendan Burchard, and it was magnificent. So there's all kinds of opportunities. All it takes is a willingness and an intention on your part to get better at things, to find those speaking opportunities, to practice doing interviews, to practice giving presentations over the web, to practice doing videos on the new Facebook live stream video capability. It's just practice, practice, intention and practice, and opportunity will help you get much, much better at your speaking skills. Hopefully that helps. Comments or questions, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I heard you say something that I think is so important, to provide opportunities. I think many individuals on teams sometimes can, make up excuses in our head as to why we're not participating effectively. And I think that an invitation goes a long way to get people to do that when you're in that position. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. We give people the opportunities. We invite them to practice and hone their skills.
Yep. Okay. I work with someone, I'm sorry, next question?
Yep.
I work with someone who has little self-control. How can I support them in getting their act together?
That's a tough one. That can be a real tough one, because generally people who have very little self-control live in a tremendous amount of fear. It's not always the case, but it is the case by like 95, 98% of the time. I think there are people who have very little self-control, and it really is an emotional and mental disorder. They have antisocial personality disorder or Tourette's syndrome, or something that takes it, from beyond something that can be addressed, by you and me, into an issue that needs to be addressed by professional counselors and therapists, and even by psychiatrists and by medication. So there's some percent of the people who have self-control issues that need help beyond the help that you and I can give them. But there are a lot of people who have self-control issues that we can help. And one of the best things that we can possibly do is make them understand that it is in their best interest to get their act together, to be able to have better self-control. That is not only in their best interest, but it's also well within their capability of doing that. So there are courses out there that teach people the fundamental aspect of self-control, which is personal composure. When you feel yourself getting out of control, when you feel the rage building up within you, the anger building up within you, the panic building up within you, the anxiety building up within you, to do something about it before it reaches that boiling point. And for many people, that's stepping back, taking a time out, just taking a big breath or 2 or 3 big breaths, or it's counting to 10. There are a lot of different techniques that you can use to, once you recognize that, oops, I'm just about to blow my stack, or I'm about to lose control, to regain control and gain your composure and gain your self-control. The way that we get somebody interested in doing that is letting them know, as I started out saying, that it's in their best interest to do that. And let them understand that, this could be worth $100,000 or $1 million to you over the lifetime of your career to get your act together from a self-control point of view. That it's going to be worth, it could be worth a tremendous amount in your personal relationships. It could mean the difference in between having a happy family relationship and not having a happy family relationship, for you to get that basic of emotional control in place. So somehow you need to make them understand that it's in their best interest to focus their time and energy on getting their act together. I did a great office hours presentation a couple of months ago on a book called Change or Die that talked about how we reach somebody who is not usually reachable through the common motivational techniques of facts, fear, and force. If the facts won't do it, then we put a little bit of, and the fear of God into them won't work, and we can't force them to do it in some way. Then it takes a tremendously different approach. It takes the approach of nurturing them, of believing in them, of letting them take one small step at a time, of making them feel safe in making the change. And that's the real key. They need to feel safe in attempting to change themselves and in taking small steps forward in order for them to really get their act together, so to speak. So, do your best to help them see that it's in their best long-term interest, from a personal health point of view, from a family relationship point of view, from a career point of view, from a bottom line point of view, to be better at composure and self-control and self-management. And if you see the light to start to come on, that they really get it, then you can have the opening to suggest to them that they practice, various self-control techniques, meditation techniques, relaxation techniques, in order to reduce their level of stress and anxiety, so that they don't feel as anxious as they did before, and get themselves to the boiling point nearly as quickly. Hopefully that was helped. It's a challenge. If I see people in my own life, I've seen business owners every once in a while that they're caught up in a very bad place emotionally, and it takes a lot of time for them to reduce their baseline anxiety so that they can enjoy life better, have a healthier and happier life, a more productive life, a more profitable business environment as well. Next question or comment, Steffi.
Yeah. Next one.
Okay.
Do I even... I'm one of those individuals who had problems with that, and I'll tell you, for me, it was kind of an ultimatum. I knew I was going to lose my job, and I knew I was going to lose more friends, and I knew I was going to lose my life if I didn't get it together, unfortunately.
And you
Next question?
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry?
first of all, a real kudo and a pat on the back. You are getting it together. You definitely, in the years that we've been working together, you're a much kinder, healthier, happier person today than you were just a few years ago. So my pat on the back to you, and kudos to you, and kudos to anybody out there who's listening to this who has made progress on their journey. You can learn to increase in emotional intelligence, and it does pay off. So Stephanie and I are both personal success stories when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
Yeah. Next question or comment. We have time for one.
Do I even need a laptop anymore?
Good question. I hear more and more people saying that, I don't need one. My laptop broke, but I've got this, smartphone the size of a small desk that I carry around in my pocket, and I can put Word and Excel and PowerPoint on my smartphone, and I don't need any internal storage on it beyond that which is necessary to, for audio stuff, because all of my files are in the cloud. So if I can use, my smartphone and I can hook an external keyboard to it through a Bluetooth device, which I can do with my tablet, by the way, and I can use Word, Excel, PowerPoint on my tablet and store all my files in the cloud, then do I need a laptop? Maybe not. I'm certain, by the way, that there are some things that you can do on laptops that you simply can't do on your smartphones or tablets, but that list is getting smaller and smaller over time. There are some very intense graphics programs and other things that you just, you need a lot of horsepower. You need a 4-core chip or a 16-core chip of some kind running, 4, 8, 12 gigahertz in a clock speed in order to do that. So there are, in a laptop, in a desktop, you can get processors that are 10 or even, I'm guessing, 100 times more powerful than the processors that are in your smartphones. So there are applications where you absolutely need it, but more and more these days, people are saying, I don't even need my laptop. My tablet will work just fine because I've got a little thing that allows me to put a keyboard with that, and I can work miracles with it. And there's some things that are kind of in between there. The Microsoft Surface has a nice product that is both a laptop and a tablet, it would seem, at the same time. So we're seeing a lot of changes in technology today with regards to that. With that, I think we're going to let that be the final question for today. I want to remind you all of the special offer that we have. Give you the encouragement to give us a call to, hang on, let me back up to that real quick. There we go. The special offer with the Gold Clarity Package, 5 90-minute planning sessions, 1 bonus follow-up coaching session, tools that you can use in your business forever, and 100% money-back guarantee with a 25% discount in total. All yours for just $1,500. Give Stephanie and I a call in order to get prepared for 2017. We'd love to support you in our business. We love helping our clients get clear, stay focused, so that they can grow faster and receive all of the benefits from a more profitable, rapidly growing business. With that, we're going to wish you the very best. And as always, until next week, this is Paul Hoyt and Stephanie May wishing you a most marvelous and prosperous day. Bye-bye.